Okay, I need to talk about things, and this is quite serious. Before I get into this, I need to talk about my rights that have been denied, like the right to trauma therapy, because it's been covered up that I've gone through serious trauma throughout my life. The people that I was trying to report in the first place said they were going to turn me into a traitor, make me destitute. They have accessed records and messed with everything. I have been dealing with therapists, which I found out that they weren't therapists, they were social workers, that have completely invalidated all of the abuse and crime that I have suffered from, all the trauma I've gone through in my life. And yes, I was actually in children's homes. Police are pissing me off. Because I have tried to report this to you and you have just let them do this to me. You corrupted bastards. And as for therapists, what's this? What's this? What? So the police are taking a backhander to hide this all. So how about this one? Hang on, where is it? Look. What do you mean that there isn't a crime being committed when I have been seriously abused because of these horrible people in Lambeth? And I have no idea why I am being tortured by Freemasons as well. I'm not the terrorist. Is it because the abuse that I went through as a teenager is connected to you lot? Because I know Loughborough Estate Management Board was so willing to harm me. I am so traumatized. You have no idea, because I am not safe in my own country. I've gone through genuine trauma in my life. I have had people blocking me left, right, and centre for years. I've put evidence up on Facebook, but it's been totally taken over. I tried to send evidence over and over again. And it just gets ignored because what? Is it backhander corruption time? Of course it is. Now, excuse me for being emotional and all over the place. I had a benefits advisor for a couple of years by the name of Namina Taylor, who evidently is involved in what's been happening to me, because my ESA that I was on should never have been stopped. And my conditions that I had then have worsened. They're running housing and corrupted people in Lambeth Council are trying to have me sectioned like I'm making up stories. What, so they can shove Largactal in me and destroy me? I don't make up stories. Vauxhall Surgery is around the corner. They take people all the way from Essex. I have no idea what Pesman Fard was doing to me, but I also got an email saying that I was no longer allowed to represent myself on my own online NHS account. I haven't done anything wrong. In 2021, I get illegally imprisoned for 12 hours. Not 12 hours, 10 hours. From 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. Which was done to me by, bear with me when I find the paperwork. Sorry. Yeah, police broke down my door as well. I tried to hand evidence of these horrible abuses in Lambeth Council on housing into MI5, and they called the police on me, who locked me up in a cell in Charing Cross. While I was there and they had my keys, they decided to come and break my door open. See? Occupier unknown. I was in Charing Cross Police Station. They kicked open my bloody door. And on the exact same date that my benefits were illegally cut off. I was on ESA with conditions diagnosed. That's my mum's address, because at that time I was staying at my mum's because I'd been illegally evicted. There's a court order which proves it's an illegal eviction. I'm meant to pay £7.20 a fortnight. I was paying £43.72 a fortnight. Court order. So that was an illegal eviction. I had to send my son to go to live with his father because I was having a meltdown because of it. Sorry, I need to just stop for one moment and blow my nose. I was transferred to this address under emergency transfer after I was nearly murdered. Other things happened too. I don't want to discuss those. And I have been abused for 5 years since I've lived here. This was the former address at the former housing team where I used to live on Loughborough Estate Management Board that put me in prison for having a mental breakdown that they had actually caused because I was trying to get fire safety inspections done, structural safety inspections done, and I reported them to the Financial Conduct Authority for fraud and discrimination against residents. Failure to disclose. Why would I do that? Why would I bother doing that? Because for the year prior, I'd been badly hurt, and I had gone to Loughborough Estate Management Board in 2019 about trying to get myself moved out of the area because I was being badly harmed and targeted. They refused to help me. I was also, at the time, under Marac. I know I've gone on a tangent, but I've got a lot of different paperwork here, so forgive me, it takes a while for me to organise it all. I was under Marac, and they stopped the support that I had. Remember, I was, someone tried to murder me. I was being targeted, I was being harmed. I was trapped from being moved, effectively held hostage. And eventually, I got so bad because of the targeting and the abuse that I was going through after I went through really bad abuse, especially psychological abuse, seriously psychosexual psychological abuse in 2018. And then that person was able to spread how to trigger me to other people on that estate. And that also suited a lot of conspiracy theorists to continue with that sort of stuff. Then it became the kind of done thing to do for the people that frequented the local pub on the estate as well, to come and target me and trigger me. People standing outside my flat saying things like, "You ate your baby." I was so bad that in 2019, I tried to harm myself in several different types of ways. The worst one, I actually was going to attempt to hang myself, but I managed to stop myself from doing it by thinking of my son. It was then I grabbed myself and kind of tried to stand up against it and say, stop hurting yourself, because that's exactly what they want you to do. And I got up and I did what I did. You can see the videos. Got some strength back, and then came back from my little excursion back to London. And I suppose it started with a leak and it ended up with terrorism. But I've been abused by some extremely corrupted people throughout the system in various areas. It's been going on for a long time. I've reached out to all and sundry, and I have been completely messed up. There have been people that have been running around spreading the worst lies about me as well. And as for people discrediting me for what I've gone through, I actually was in social services, but it's not my fault if social services in Lambeth fail to protect records that housing department don't have a right to access. To mess records up or to pay people. We're talking about bribery, we're talking about corruption, we're talking about terrorism, because some of these people targeted me from abroad. Oh yeah. The police force don't give two bloody hoots. So somebody evidently decided to call the police and have my door kicked in. Right. I'm going to go to the source of what the background of this, the prison situation, which should not have happened. I have no idea what they said, but I was treated like an absolute... It was terrible what they did to me at Westminster Magistrates Court. I was treated like a terrorist. After being hurt so badly for such a long time on that estate. And I move here thinking I'm going to be a bit safer, but I mean, heck, it's Lambeth. There's nowhere else to go. It's a small borough. It's been even worse since I've moved here. And it doesn't matter because the whole of Lambeth, each department, is completely, fully corrupted. I've got serious health conditions, physical health conditions. They're really serious. I didn't get better in 10 hours in Bronzefield prison for them to illegally stop my money. And then to put me in thousands of pounds of debt and housing benefits, I'm effectively held prison here no matter what. And the fact that the people on the emergency panel, they're involved in targeting me as well. It's like, are you for real? You're going to abuse me because I tried to report Loughborough Estate Management Board fraud? I've experienced violent attacks. All these things are genuine. I didn't do that to myself. I can't stamp on my own head till my ears ripped from it. The people that did that were targeting my family for bloody years. Because of stupid little white supremacist conspiracy theorists on my mother's estate. One of whom has since become a Freemason. I was referred to this in 2020 And then it was stopped. I went into the therapy situation and it's all been invalidated, even though I've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of freaking evidence. You're going to let all this happen with all this evidence? Because this is what the United Kingdom does to its citizens. Not just any citizen. Check this out. I carry a substantial amount of royal DNA. My family's been persecuted throughout my whole life within the borough of Lambeth, and our rights always have been messed with. My family are not some gypsy layabouts. They came from good backgrounds. I mean, my father had a hard time. He went into the military. 3 of my grandparents were in the military. I am absolutely disgusted. And there's a little bit of adage to it. Being targeted by people directly connected to the royal family from Germany is not particularly nice. Having the godson of Charles III, I have got videos of this stuff and photos of this stuff. I've put it on Facebook. I can't put it up on this account, I'm afraid. And I'm not going to go into that, even though it's very relevant. So I've basically, with therapy, been completely and totally rubbished off, invalidated, even though every single time I've spoken to anybody in the situation, in that sector, that area, that department in the last couple of years, I've said I've got the evidence in my backpack. That includes all the digital evidence as well. I don't even trust our military anymore, because I came and told you, but you decided to go, what makes you think a crime's being committed? I'm a victim of terrorism. What makes you think it hasn't been? It's so serious because evidently I'm blocked from communicating or sending evidence to people. Even my hashtags were removed from Facebook so that no one sees anything. I mean, they're there, you can see it, but they're not, they're kind of in a separate kind of box by themselves if you press on it. I was kicked at this front door, but obviously can't trust the police. A woman was in attendance. They're talking about Merlin reports. If Merlin reports is like Marak, there's no point, because Andrea Turi. Really? A support worker from Iraq stands in front of me in 2019 and dismisses what I've got going through at that point. I know I am all over the place, but it is freaking horrible what I've been going through, and I haven't even discussed what happened in 2020 after I was triggered into a huge but very, very strange breakdown, and how I was treated for over 24 hours at the Brixton police station after having a mental breakdown caused by the people that I had reported to the Financial Conduct Authority and had been trying to get fire safety and structural safety inspections done internally in people's flats so that their lives are safe. But it's not just housing that is involved. And they used their lawyers, these horrible, disgusting lawyers, horrible, vile. My own lawyer misrepresented me and helped put me in prison for 10 hours. A victim of crime who's a witness. Terrorism, breaches of national security, blatant. What's all this being targeted by people within the NHS as well? What Pesman Farr did to me. Why? Oh, I can see Pesman Farr's got quite a bit of money. Did it get nice bit little payout? Is everybody enriching themselves off of me? Nasty little predators. Find out my royal bloodline and go for a fucking pounce. Oh, what can we do? I tried to send a permission thing around, basically saying I don't give permission to anyone to do anything on my behalf, and I was completely blocked. I've put the result of that blockage up on my Facebook account, which is my profile picture, which you'll probably get blocked and told that it's filled with really disgusting stuff, and probably get bombarded with nasty stuff if you look at it, because it's disgusting what they're doing to me. I will at some point have to talk about what happened in 2020 at the police station, but what happened at the court was disgusting, and I was thrown in the bottom of a cell. Bottom of the court in a cell like a terrorist. No caring for the fact I've got complex post-traumatic stress disorder, that I've got high-functioning autism, that I'm a victim of crime, who had a massive breakdown because I was trying to report the people that were bringing me to the court. And then they refused to let me talk in a courtroom to provide evidence. And there is some much more damning evidence than just this paperwork. And it's irrefutable. I have been properly held hostage. Peabody Trust as well, like every other little department in Lambeth, is just screwing me over. This is what they're doing to victims of crime. I didn't do anything wrong to a single person. I was trying to get fire safety inspections done, structural and safety inspections done, and report a fraud and discrimination done by a housing team to Financial Conduct Authority, including misfiling, failure to disclose and fabrications on the audit, of which I've got absolute really serious evidence for. But some of that evidence is digital, so I decided to go to the Financial Conduct Authority in Stratford to get an appointment to show the evidence that's visual, because I videoed it, and it absolutely point blank shows that they have fabricated their audit. It's irrefutable. It is beyond a joke. But it's the level of discrimination and terrorism that comes with trying to report these people. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have tried to report them in the first place or even bothered all this, but they were abusing me already. What they were doing to me before. They didn't give two hoots that I had been hurt on that estate. All the support that I had just gone. Nasty little conspiracy theorists going around, white supremacists spreading lies while getting drunk in the local pub. People mixing me up with other people over years. And this is the thing, I was already at high risk because of this stuff. That was already known. But no one wanted to take it seriously, like Chris Bowden. Because some of the people involved in targeting me stretches back to that time when I told him. These are CAD numbers for abuse and harassment that I went through. That's from when they kicked down a door. So I don't know how they suddenly knew my name then. Because when they kicked it open, they certainly didn't know my name. That's it. They went through paperwork, didn't they? They probably kicked my door open to go through the paperwork. I haven't committed a crime, police force. You have. because you failed to take evidence of actual crime. I'm not playing games here. I've got your bastards in every which bloody way you want. You abused me. I tried over and over and over from 2019. I don't deserve to be abused by the government. I haven't actually done anything wrong. And you have no right to abuse me because some stupid junkie conspiracy theorist. Or whatever else. Oh, let me guess. Some of the horrific things I went through in my life, you're directly involved in doing to me, aren't you? I know this is a crappy video. I know I'm not explaining things properly, but I'm highly emotional because I have gone through this over and over and over. Yeah, they legally sectioned me under a false diagnosis and they're going to try and do this again to me. I sent evidence to MPs, to therapists, I sent evidence. They don't care. Backhanders all around. Everyone getting rich, yeah? Corruption. That's their little case. This has nothing to do with me. This is their general consensus of what the residents are. That's what they think about people who, what? Tell the truth about them. That's discrimination. That's blatant, downright discrimination. Is it not? This is them laughing in the face of everyone. Oh, look, we've got away with it. Ha, ha, ha. Look, check this out. Prudent financial management. The 2020 audit is quite funny. You should have a look at it and then have a look at my Facebook and the evidence of what I was doing during 2020, trying to get fire safety and structural safety inspections done on that estate. Which, if I have enough time left on the video, I will actually look for some of the paperwork notes that I took talking to other residents as I was walking around getting a petition together. Yeah, this is the... Oh, yeah. Also, during the time that I was illegally imprisoned, somebody wrote to the government and said I didn't even give birth to my own son. This was money that was for my son. Why should I be paying it back? I gave birth to my child. That's my child. What, is someone going to say, on my Facebook account you can see a video, I was stamped on the head. Punched in the face and stamped on the head. The left side of my head stamped on. Because of the conspiracy theories that have been spread, scapegoating my family so that you don't look at the people that are involved in doing this to me in the first place. There's a lot more to this, and I'm going to have to probably do several different videos to try to break it down into different sections and speak a little bit more succinctly and in a correct order so that there's understanding of exactly what's going on, because I'm a bit jumbled and emotional at the moment. As you can see, even the way I'm laying it out, it would be better that I do a couple of videos going through each section by each time of what was actually happening to me. And I do need to discuss what happened to me at Brixton Police Station in 2020, because it was totally illegal. I was having a mental breakdown, and I'm the one that called the police. They should have recognised I was having the mental breakdown, and I should not have been in a police cell for 24 hours. What happens in that police cell is quite strange and bizarre, and it's totally wrong what they did to me. I'm a genuine victim. I'm not a perpetrator or a criminal. And as for people that went into my flat illegally when I was travelling abroad in another country, making up stories about me, the things I had in my flat that were for children were actually for my son. My son lives with his dad. He has done since I was illegally evicted in 2014. Court order. That means Hyde Group is in contempt of court. They evicted me on that and wanted more money. Even though this is a court order. Same year. Yes, I was in a lot of debt. But what had happened many times before my son went to nursery school, quite a few times, benefits were cut off. Housing benefit and everything, and it gets you in debt. Another thing, when I was illegally cut off from my ESA, not only did my conditions not change, and it was an illegal imprisonment for 10 hours, so it should not have affected my benefits in any way. But not only did it affect the benefits, I had it all cut off, including my housing benefit. Oh, and since then, the conditions that I had that I was on the ESA in the first place, I have more of them. And they're genuinely serious physical health conditions. I do have genuine complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm disgusted with therapists. Why are you gatekeeping me from trauma therapy? Is it because a lot of that trauma is based on what happened to me after I was taken away from my mother and father and was under the care of Lambeth Social Services? Does that also coincide with the fact that I have been targeted and abused by people within Lambeth Council since I tried to report the housing fraud? But not only that, I have gone through persecution and human rights violations throughout my life, trauma throughout my life, and I've fought really hard to do something with my life nonetheless, but never got anywhere. Stopped all the time. And then I get bullied and ridiculed for not being anywhere. It's like, well, thank you very much, but they don't make it easy when they keep persecuting me and abusing me. And every time I've tried to do well in my life, something goes wrong. When I was illegally evicted, I was studying, doing volunteering work, taking my son to school and looking for a proper job. And it was an illegal eviction. Making me and my son homeless. I managed to fight off one eviction date, but another one was given. I had a proper meltdown. I had to send my son to go with his dad, and within 2 months, that was it. I was on the street. But I suppose it's better my son didn't see that happening, because as I was breaking down, I'm glad my son didn't see that, because it would have been absolutely traumatizing for him. They were constantly at me. their hide group. It was constant trauma, constantly being threatened with eviction, constantly just for the sake of, it's almost like they were having fun doing that to me psychologically, constantly leaving me in a state of anxiety. And then I was always having my benefits and just stopped. Even with a child. How is it not absolutely disgusting? And furthermore, if they do try to section me, the thing is, I have no intention of killing myself. I am of no danger to anyone else. And when I'm in my own flat, I can say and do what I want. I'm not actually hurting anybody. I have been targeted where I live for 5 years, and I know which people have done it, and I am saying so, and loudly. I have the right to live in my country, and no one had the right. I have the right to live in my country safely, and I have never, ever, ever had an opportunity to do so. All the hard work and effort I've put in my life, why have I never got anywhere? Because I've been constantly thrown out on the street.